Hello everybody, welcome to today's tutorial. Today we'll be making the dumpster fire. This is one of our kits, and I'm just going to be showing you, doing a little walkthrough of how you make this little guy, okay? He's not super hard. I would say that once you kind of figure out how to make him, he gets pretty easy. So I love this little guy. It is perfect for beginners, and it's a nice little challenge for any beginners. Not to say that it's super difficult, just that it's fun, okay? I'm going to show you how to do that. We got these colors you're going to need is we're going to be using this teal, this aqua color. It's called Tropical Aqua Blue, and we have that on our website. Then we'll be using orange and red. We also have these on our website, and then this gray that's also on our website, and just like a little bit of black, and these 14mm safety eyes. This yarn weight is super bulky, and I'll be using a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook to crochet with this, okay? So to start out, we are going to be using this aqua blue. I'm going to get that set up over here. We're going to be making the body part first. So you're going to take your aqua blue and we're going to make a slip knot, okay? So making a slip knot is just going to be taking the yarn in between your fingers. I'm going to get a little bit closer to the camera. Take the yarn in your fingers like this, pinch it in between your two front fingers and your thumb. I'm going to take the yarn here, wrap it around the back, and then make an X at the front. You can pinch it between your thumb and your two fingers here. You're going to take this loop off of those two fingers, still pinching it. Take this yarn, pull it through this loop right here, and pull it tight. That's how you do it without a crochet hook. I can show you, I have tutorials about how to do it with a crochet hook. There are places, but you can do it with or without a crochet hook. It doesn't necessarily make it easier or harder. It's just a little different, okay? All right. So now that you have your yarn on your crochet hook, that first loop on your crochet hook, you're going to chain 14. And chaining is just wrapping the yarn around the hook like that, turning it downward, and pulling it through the loop, okay? And you're going to do that 14 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, that's 14. That was just round 1. This is round 2. You're going to chain 1. You're going to skip this chain that you just made, and you're going to single crochet 14 across. Okay, let me show you what a single crochet is. You're going to go into this stitch. For chains, I always only like to go through one stitch, but that's a whole other thing. You're going to go through this stitch, wrap the yarn over the hook, turn it down, pull it through the loop. So now you have 2 loops on your crochet hook. You're going to wrap the yarn over again and pull it through both of those loops. That's how you make a single crochet. And you're just going to do that all the way across. And if you don't get it if you don't get it right the first time, then don't worry, that's fine. It takes a lot of practice. I've been doing this for 10 years and I still mess up. So don't worry. So you single crochet all the way across. Some people put on stitch markers when they're doing rows, but I don't like to do that. You will be needing a stitch marker and yarn needles for this project. Just not yet. So, all right, single crocheting all the way across so that you have 14. All right, perfect. Once you get to the end of that chain, the end of that row, you will chain 1, turn the work, and then do it on the other side, okay? And that's just single crocheting back and forth and back and forth. And so that's for round 3, row 3. What I like to do is I have the pattern right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to mark down how many rows I've been doing. So for this, we have to do rows 2 through 7. So we did 1 row already of that. So 2 through 7 is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. And now that's going to be 7 rows. Whether or not it looks like it's going to be 5 because you subtract 2 from 7, it's 6 because it includes row number 2, okay? So we have to do 7 rows of, we have to do 7 rows of this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we have to do 6 rows of this. I have to recount, my bad. I have to do 6 rows of this. And so I just did row 1, and so you just repeat that 5 more times. All right, so now we have done our 6 rows. Just like that, super easy, super fast. And now we are going to do the next thing. So that leaves us at round 8 that we're at right now. We're at round 8 or row 8. This part is where it gets a little bit tricky. So I haven't chained yet, so you see, I'm going to chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. And then I'm going to fasten off. I'm going to leave it a little bit loose. And it looks weird. I know it does, but trust. So we're going to secure this to the other side. And then we're going to chain 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to skip this next chain. Here, I'm going to keep zooming in a little bit. We're going to skip this next chain, and then we're going to go into this. So when you're fastening something on, you're just basically pulling the yarn through whatever stitch with your crochet hook. And then you can start chaining from that, but you're just getting the yarn onto it somehow. You can tie it on if you'd like, just whatever way works best for you, okay? So back to this, excuse me. Okay, back to this. You're going to skip 1 chain. You're going to single crochet 2. You're going to single crochet all the way across, and that's going to have stitch count of 26, okay? So we're going to count just to make sure that we get all of them, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 26. 26. So your stitch count should be 26 by the time that you're done, okay? So then we're going to chain 1, turn the work, and now we're kind of making this weird, like, T-looking shape. So we're going to then chain 1, skip the chain, and single crochet 26 across. We're going to do that 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're going to do that for 5 rows, I believe. Or for 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 5 rows. Okay? 5 rows of that. So 5 more rows in addition to this one. So if you ever get confused and you're like trying to count your rows and you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then it's not 5 like that. It's 5 plus, well, it's this one plus the other 5. So we're going to do that. Just single crochet all the way across the 26 for 5 times. Also, at any point, if you get confused about like, oh, where are we? What are we doing? Just check out the pattern. It should have come in your kit. So just check out the pattern and it'll tell you kind of where we are at this current point in the pattern, if that makes sense. Like, just if you're ever confused or get lost, I will try to remember to mention what round we are at every point at the beginning of every round. But, yeah, I'll be explaining each step as we go. So if you ever get confused, just let me know. I will try to help you as best as we can in the comments, or you can email us if you get too confused. All right, so we finished those 5 rounds, or those 5 rows, my bad. Rounds are when it goes around, and then rows are when it goes back and forth and back and forth. So we finished that. I've been keeping track over here on my pattern. We're going to fasten off. So fastening off, I realized I didn't explain this earlier, but fastening off is basically like, you just kind of pull the stitch tight. You like chain 1 and pull it really tight. That's at least how I fasten off. Not everybody fastens off like that. But you fasten off like that. And then I'm going to flip over the work. You don't have to do this, but I like to do this. So you are going to skip 6 stitches on each side. So what I'm going to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we leave that amount of stitches unworked. So we're not dealing with this whole flap over here, so that it makes this T shape. Okay? So we're going to start here, and we're going to secure the yarn. So we're going to pull the yarn through, just like that. Chain 1. just so that we have that base so that we can start crocheting. I'm going to single crochet 14. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Perfect. And basically what we're doing is we're going to resume what we were doing back here, and we're just going to make that keep going that way. Okay? So rounds 15 through 19. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 5 more rounds in addition to this. So like 6 more almost if you're counting this row, but we're not going to count this row, so we're going to do rounds 15 through 19 of just chain 1, skip that chain, turn the work over, and then single crochet all the way across. And the stitch count should be 14 on this right here. If it's not, add like an increase or decrease at one of the edges or in the middle, preferably on one of the edges. But if you have to, I would recommend doing that. Okay, so just back and forth for 5 rounds. Keep track of how many you've been doing. So we just finished up to round 19. We will be doing round 20 now. So what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1, you're going to flip it over, and then what we're going to do is, this is a stitch that not every beginner knows, so I'm going to show you really quick. It's super, super easy, trust me. So when you're crocheting, you're going to go into both of these stitches, right? So a lot of people teach it, you go into the V's. That's kind of how you crochet and make it so it doesn't have weird lines in it. Well, this has lines in it, but like it doesn't have like protruding lines in it. So what you're going to do is, instead of going in through both of the loops like you normally do, you're going to go in through just the front loop. Like that. So there's only one that you're going through. And you're going to single crochet 1 time across just like that. Make sure to just go through these front loops. And the abbreviation for that is FLO in all caps usually. And so if you ever get confused, you're like, what's flow? I don't know what flow is. It's front loops only. Okay? And so if they have that at the beginning of a round or a row, usually means you go the whole row doing that, unless specified otherwise. Like unless it's like repeated in other ways in other parts of the pattern. Okay, so that is what's going to make this lip kind of go upward a little bit, give it that kind of edge, if that makes sense. So it's going to make it have a little bit of an angle. Okay, so you've gone across the whole time with that. You can check that row off. Then next we're going to go for 5 more rows, going back and forth, just normal. Okay, chain 1, turn over, single crochet all the way across. 5 more times. Make sure to count it. So we're going to fasten off, and this part's going to be a little bit on the more weird side, and it's good that we have a video tutorial for this, because I've had so many people be like, I'm so confused. How do you fix this? How do you do this? Okay, so what you're going to do is you have these 2 flaps right here, right? So you're going to take these flaps, as you would call it, and you are going to secure this yarn to one of these side flaps. It's going to be the 4th, 4 single crochet on the 3rd row from the left, and the 4 well, I don't know my right from left. This is your left, this is your right. You're going to do, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. You're going to do 4 single crochet, 4 single crochet. So you're going to start, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, you're going to single crochet 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And fasten it off. And I know that's a little confusing, but just basically put the crochet hook in literally wherever it will fit, and make it work. Like that. It just has to be not all the way on the edge. I just single crochet like 4-ish right there. I'm going to zoom in again. Just right here. I'm going to show you on this side. We're going to take this 1, 2, 3 crochet hook in that row, pull it through, wrap the yarn over, chain 1, because that's what you do when you fasten it to something. And then what I like to do is I like to fold this flat back a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect, trust me. And you're just going to, I'm going to start with single crocheting one right here. 1, 2, and you're just kind of inserting it along the seam. 3, 4. Okay? I'm actually going to do one more because that one doesn't look like 4. It's okay to go a little bit rogue from the pattern if you think it looks better. Okay. And then you just kind of hide these loose ends. You can just insert your crochet hook back here and then pull it through. Sorry, there's a little bit of shedding going on. Pull these yarn strands so that you have these like, these are the side handle pieces, okay? And it doesn't have to be perfect. They match each other. They're like matching, not twins. So now we have it like this. And then what we can do is we can put his little face on, because that's the best part. We can put his little face on. This also makes it easier for us when we're sewing it together, so we don't have to like deal with the face later. I love doing this. It's fantastic. So the face for this little guy, the lower the face, the better. So if you put it lower down, because the face is going to be on this panel right here. It's not the big panel, it's this little panel at the top. Okay? The lower the face, the better. This is the line where we're going to fold it. So I'm going to put his face like, there we go. Like that. And you can make their face however you want it. There's no requirements one way or the other. There's no instruction of like you have to put the face like this to make it look like blah blah blah. I don't remember how I did this guy's face. I probably figured it out, but I also like making them have different faces because then they each have their own personalities. Because if they all look the same, then how are you going to tell who's who? Like this is the OG Dumpster Fire, and then this is the new guy. And you can tell, and it's pretty awesome. And then you just embroider the mouth on. What I like to do is, it's okay for it to look a little choppy because nobody cares. And it's okay if it's not perfect. Like that. And then we'll tie it off to this side. I just made a little V. And then we just leave that tail. Like that. Isn't he cute? And then you can readjust it a little bit if so desired. Like so. And you got a big smile. Aww. They're brothers, not twins. Just good to remember that. Okay. Now we have that. He is partially completed. That is just his body part. Okay? That is the entirety of page 4. Okay? We're done with that. We don't need that anymore. We can throw that away if we desire. Okay? That piece is done. We will set him aside. You can fold him up into a nice little piece if you like. And set him aside. Now, we're going to be working on the fires. And there's 2 fires that we're going to make. Originally, the plan with him was to make 2 of the same fires and then use that, but then I decided I liked this better. So 2 fires. We're going to make the twin fire. So this fire in the back, we're going to start by making that. And by this point in my crochet career, I would make this differently, but I still love and respect the previous way that I made it, so we will make it that way. Okay, so you're going to start by chaining 8. There's not a whole lot of like going around in a round for this pattern, which is kind of interesting. I was playing around a lot with just rows instead of rounds. So you're going to chain 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Chain 8, you're going to skip 1 chain, and then you're going to single crochet 7. 2, 3. Perfect. Then you're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just like that. It looks weird. Trust it'll work. And then you are going to skip one of the chains, single crochet, then you're going to half double crochet. So half double crocheting is you wrap the yarn around the hook, you stick the yarn in the stitch, pull yarn through the loop. So now you have 3 loops on your hook. Wrap the yarn over and pull it through all 3 of those loops, okay? It's a little bit taller than a single crochet, okay? Wrap the yarn over the hook. We're going to make 2 double crochets. Double crochets are similar to half double crochets, but not quite. You're going to wrap the yarn around the hook, put the hook into the stitch, wrap the yarn over, pull it through, wrap the yarn over, pull it through only 2 of these 3 loops, wrap the yarn over, and pull it through those last 2 loops, okay? And then you just do that one more time. By the way, you guys, this is round 3 in case you're curious. And then we are going to do 2 treble crochets. And treble crochets is you wrap the yarn around the hook 2 times. You put it into the stitch, wrap the yarn over, pull it through, wrap the yarn over, pull it through 2 loops, wrap the yarn over, pull it through 2 more loops, wrap the yarn over, pull it through the last 2 loops. And that is like way taller than, oh, there's a knot in my yarn, don't worry. It's way taller than a double crochet, and it can make it look a little funny, but it's a little bit taller than a half treble crochet, and I wouldn't recommend that one. That one's really fun, actually. I actually really like doing half treble crochet. Pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through last 2. And there you go. There's a triangle. Okay. And you're going to skip 4 stitches on this base. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to go into this one, the 5th stitch. And we are going to single crochet. So now it's all one piece because we single crocheted it back onto this main piece. We are going to then chain 3. We're going to make that other side of that twin fire pattern. There's a little bit of a typo, but I'm fixing it right now, so don't worry. But in the OG pattern, if you have the OG pattern, it just says twin fire. It doesn't say that you have to make 2 of them, but you will have to make 2 of these. I'm almost done with it, so let me just walk you through the rest of it, and then I'll explain the rest. So chain 3, skip 1 stitch, single crochet, half double crochet, skip 1 stitch on the base, and then single crochet onto the base. Okay? And then that's enough. And you don't have to have long tails for these bad boys. There's no sewing that I have to do with these, okay? So that's just that one base right there, okay? There's that, and you're going to make another one. So that and the other one. And then, yeah, so you're going to make 2. In the original pattern, it doesn't say to make 2, but you will make 2, okay? Make 2, this one, and then this one. Alright, so now that you have your 2 sides of the flame, we're going to take them, we're going to stack them, just like so. Just so that it has more depth, and we don't have to, and it, will stand up by itself. We're going to take our red, right here, cherry slush red. Love this red. I gotta find where the tail is. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. Cherry slush red. We're going to single crochet all the way around the edges. And that is however much you would like to have at the edges. If you want to add extra definition, which I will be doing, you can increase, do 2 single crochets in 1 stitch at the top corners. Oh, and we're only single crocheting around these edges, not the bottom edge. Just so you know. And just make sure that they line up the whole time. Just like this. When I get to this top corner, I'm going to do an increase so that I kind of get more definition right there. But you don't have to do that. Nobody's requiring you to do that. And at this bottom part right here, because it's a dip, I'm going to decrease. But you don't have to do that. That's just a Ziri's being fancy move. So literally nobody's requiring you to do anything. Just do whatever you think is best. Just single crochet all the way around somehow. Do some sort of that. And in this one, I'm going to also increase. fasten off. You will also not need a long tail for this bad boy, because we'll just get some extra orange and sew it on. Or what did I sew this with on? Yeah, I sewed this on with orange. You'll just sew it on with extra orange. You can just tuck all those extra loose ends into the flame pocket right here. And then you don't have to worry about them anymore. Out of sight, out of mind. Okay, there goes that one of the fires right there. Next, we're going to make the single flame. Okay, we're going to take and we're going to be making it similar style to this, so one for each side, and then we're going to single crochet all the way around with the red. But there's a different thing with the red that I'm going to show you too that you have to pay attention to, so that it has that like peak instead of looking like cutie and round right here. We're going to do something a little special. Okay, magic green, not magic green, just slip knot, chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to skip this one chain, and then we're going to single crochet 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to chain 1, then we're going to single crochet 5 more. So we're just building our little base. 3, 4, 5. Perfect. And then we're going to chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and we're going to single crochet 4. Okay, 2, 3, 4. So now we have a stitch count of 4. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip another stitch and single crochet 3, 2, 3. Okay. See now how it's like closing in a little bit? We're going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and single crochet 2. Then we're going to chain 1, skip a stitch, and just single crochet 1. And that is like our triangle. Okay, we have just made a triangle. We're going to fasten that off, and you are going to make another one. Ta-da! Okay, now that we have those 2 orange pieces done, you won't need any more orange for the rest of this. We will do the same thing that we did last time. Stack these bad boys, one on top of the other, like so. I like to make sure that the tails line up if it's something like this, because it doesn't matter which side it's on. There's not like a right side and a wrong side for this one, really. So we're going to secure it to this corner. Pull that yarn through. Perfect. Chain 1. We're going to single crochet all the way up to that peak. Alright, perf. Now we have our 2 little fires. That is so cutie. I love them. I like them more than I like the old ones. If you want to, with this one, you can do the same point thing on both of these points, but you don't have to. Nobody's requiring you to. Okay? Perfect. There's your fires. And that can go with your other piece over here. We're making all the pieces first, and then we'll assemble it, okay? Page 5 done. Dunzos. Okay. We are then going to take our gray right here. This is the last color that you're going to need, okay? And these pieces are pretty easy, in my opinion. Pretty simple, not a whole lot of weird stuff with these ones. It might be a little bit confusing because one of them is in the round, and that might confuse you a little bit. It's just this bottom piece right here, okay? We're going to make 2 of each of these things, okay? Lots of repetition in crocheting, huh? So we're going to make a slip knot, and then this is the covers. So these things right down here, we'll do the round one at the end. So we're going to make these 2 covers. They're the same pattern, just this one is stitched on differently than this one, okay? So we're going to chain 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we are going to skip 1 chain, and then single crochet 7. And then, almost there. This is Pebble Path Gray, by the way, in case you're curious. It's a little bit greeny, so it works perfect for the dumpster fire. And then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to skip that chain, and we're going to go back again. And so we're going to do so including this row, we're going to do that 7 times. So go back and forth 7 times to make it like a perfect square. We're almost perfect. So that would be round 1, and then that would be row 1, and then this is row 2. So make sure that you're counting these as you're going. Take your marker or your pen, mark it as you're going, so that you don't lose track and you don't mess up and you don't have to recount every 5 seconds. Easier for everyone. 6, 7, perfect. And once you get to the end of it, you'll leave one of them with a really, really long tail at the end, and then you'll have one of them with a really, really long tail at the beginning. So this one is the one that has a really long tail at the end. This one has the really long tail at the end. And this one we'll say is at the beginning. We'll pretend it's the beginning because I accidentally forgot to make this tail really, really long. So we'll just use this as the beginning. It'll be fine. No big deal. So there you go. There are your 2 pieces with that. Put those with your other pieces. And then we just take this gray again. And we're going to make these 2 feet pieces. I'd say feet pieces. They're not really feet. They're like the little things that they sit on the dump trucks can come in like. Anyway, those things. We're making those things. Okay, and we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For the legs, we're going to chain 7. So make a slip knot, chain 7. We're going to skip this first stitch, and then we're going to go into this next chain. We're going to skip the first chain, go into the next chain. We're going to single crochet 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you're going to flip the chain, and then on the other side of the chain, you're going to single crochet 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to leave a decently long tail. And we fasten it off. And there we go. For rounds like this, I always like to kind of loop the yarn, pull the yarn at the end through another stitch right after it. So it kind of makes it blend together a little bit better. Like that. And there you go. There's one of them. You're going to make one more of those. And there's the other one. Okay, now we have all of our pieces. Now it's time for assembly, which is my favorite part. I'm just going to kind of clear off my space really fast just to be prepared for that. And we're also done with page 6. So let's assemble. I don't know why I printed this page, but let's assemble. Okay. This is probably the most difficult part, but it will be sewing together the dumpster fire. I'm actually going to grab a long string of this blue so that we have enough material to work with, okay? We're going to thread that through a yarn needle. This stuff doesn't come apart very easy though, so. Okay. So we're going to start with this dumpster fire part, okay? Okay, so make sure that this line right here is on the outside. You can't really see it, but that is the fold line. We're going to take it. We're going to take the dumpster fire, and we're going to fold him up into his little box, okay? I'm going to zoom out for this because you don't really need to see my stitching. Oh, that was too much of a zoom out. That's okay. You got to see a little bit of a glimpse of what our little space looks like, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with this back corner right here. I'm going to secure my yarn to this spot by tying it in place. Sewing is my favorite. I love sewing. Sorry for all of you people who love no-sew patterns. I love sewing. So, sorry. You're going to hold this along the side like this. Just make sure that you go like this. And you're going to sew it along this edge. Just one stitch for every stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All along that side. The whole seam is done up, just like that. We're going to fold this side over like that. And we're going to do it again. 6 stitches. 1. Oh, that one went a little off. It's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so it's like corner to corner almost. That when the corners should meet up. Okay? We're going to take this last piece right here. Oh, hide this. I'm kind of like slowly tucking in these little extra strings as I'm going. This corner right here. We're going to go down 6 stitches. Okay, ready, go. 1, oh, loose string. 1, 2, oh my gosh. I keep catching all these extra strings. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're going to tie this off. Tight, tight, tight. Cut it, and then hide this little end inside the little guy, okay? Alrighty, guys, that's just part 1. Been at this for a hot minute, jeez. Okay, it's alright, guys, we're almost there. The other side, we're going to do the same thing. So this side, we're going to do exactly what we did on this side over here, okay? Alright, this is what you should have by this point. He has an open forehead, and both sides of him are stitched up neatly. We're going to take some of this stuffing right here and cram it inside of him. Not that much stuffing. Jeez, that is a lot of stuffing. Okay. That much stuffing? Yeah, don't overstuff him or else he will look horrendous like I just showed you. You want to make sure he still has all of his sharp angles, or his sharp-ish angles, okay? So then we're going to take, I used up all of that other yarn, so we're going to snip another length of it. Thread it through the loop. Hyperventilating. You're like, is it harder to sew with nails? No, but yes, but no. Okay, so you're onto one of the sides. Tie it. Tuck that little end in there so nobody can see it. Because people who don't hide their loose ends are just lazy. That's all you are, you're just lazy. And I'll stand by this opinion for the rest of my life. I will die on this hill. Please hide your loose ends. Okay. Then we tie it off. Snip, snip. Hide your loose ends. Oh. Trying to pull it through a really tight stitch. Oopsies. Okay. Perf. Alright. Now we have a little stuffed blue box. Okay? And you're done. No, I'm joking. You are not done. Get back to work, soldier. So we're going to... I want to sew the feet on first. Because on the pattern, it says to not do that first, but I want to. So we're going to do that. It says to sew them on at the end. But I think that's because when I made these at the end. And I was like, oh, you know what? We should put those on. And I just put them on at the end. Okay? We're going to sew these feet on. Just sew all the way around the edge. I'm making sure to get this guy in really good because I do not want him to fall apart because we chuck these bad boys all over the place here at Dokeys. All over the place. These guys, they never stay in the same spot for more than 10 minutes. I think I stuffed this guy a little bit more than the other guy. Oh, and something that I didn't do is I didn't single crochet all the way around this rim. We will do that. Don't worry. You're supposed to do that instead of sewing it together. But you can also do either way if you like it either way. This way it makes it look a little bit more Frankenstein. And so it's literally whatever. Because I was like, oh, this guy doesn't look as tall. I just didn't read my own instructions. That's okay. We're going to start it on these back loops only. Oh, right here. So that, and make sure that when you're doing it, you're starting it from all the way to the right if you're right-handed, or all the way to the left if you're left-handed, so that you're going around in the direction that's comfortable for you, so the right side is facing out. Fasten the yarn on. Chain 1. Let's get started. Just single crochet all the way around. That's totally my bad. If you were reading the pattern one, you're like, what are you on? What are you doing? I just wasn't reading my own instructions very well, and sometimes I do that, so I apologize. I apologize profusely. I was like, he looks really short. Why does he look really short? It's because he's down a row, bro. It's totally my bad, guys. It's okay. But at least he will stay together and you don't have to worry about finagling about him falling apart if you do it this way. So that's totally my bad. It really can go either way as long as he's all together. It's a good thing I caught that before we published this video, or else that would not be good for anybody. They'd be like, but the pattern says, but you actually say that you're not supposed to do that. Oopsies. It's been a long time since I made this guy. And now he's got 1 foot on. Ziri. How could you do this? I just need to read my patterns more carefully. My bad. I just was like, oh yeah, I've done this before. I know what I'm doing. I did not, in fact, know what I was doing. Ugh. It's a little brutal. Crocheting is a workout, you guys. I'm like sweating. Okay. And then we're just gonna slip stitch it. So a slip stitch is like the simplest stitch. Slip stitch, pull it through that loop, pull it through the other loop. Okay? That's a slip stitch. It's really no big deal. Fast enough. Hide all of these ends, because hide your ends, you heathens. You either do that. I've seen people who make like blankets and then they just sew something on the other side. That's fine. For blankets, I feel like there's an exception for blankets. But for plushies or for bags, hide your loose ends. Because nobody wants to see that. Okay, other foot. Brief intermission for fixing my previous mistake. Just putting this rim around the edge. You don't have to do it unless you want to. Perfect. There's his feeties. They're not perfect, and it's okay if they're not. Perfect feeties for imperfect feeties for an imperfect dumpster fire made by an imperfect person. Yippee! Okay. Next, we will put on the what are they called? The lids? Yeah, the lids. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sew it on all of these sides. So I'm gonna start. Yeah. So this goes on 1/2. You can put it on either side. I'm gonna put it on this side because obviously, I don't know why, obviously, but we're gonna put it on this side so that it matches the other guy. And we're just gonna sew it all the way around this edge. And then I'm gonna show you a cute little fun thing that nobody noticed that I did. That is way fun when you get to the back. And it's not in the pattern, it's just something that I did. Hidden. Oh, I forgot to put the other hinge on. That's my bad. I'll do that with this yarn because this one is gonna use less. Okay, here's a fun little thing that you should learn how to do is learn how to hide your ends on a flat project. So I like to loop it around this seam, like the last line of stitches, and then I go through and I just kind of pull it through other stitches and other rows and other, like, all sorts of stuff. I just have to pull it through so that it looks natural. And you can't even see it. It's gonzos. You can't even see it. Okay. That's how you hide your loose ends. I'm going to put this on like this, and we're only going to sew this to the back right here. Back to normal. Perfect. And then in here, that big hinge. That's also helpful because then I can just tuck it in right here. And nobody ever noticed that I did that. Nobody's ever said anything about it. And it's really tragic because it's my favorite little detail. And you can't even tell very much because it looks like all the other, it looks exactly like other girls. But it's my favorite detail, okay? Perfect. Now we have to make the iconic part. We have to attach the iconic part, which is the fire inside the dumpster fire. I feel this plushie so much, so often. I relate to this plushie so much, so often. I'm grateful that I made this plushie. It describes who I am as a person in so many ways. Alright, my life. Like, hashtag my taste in men. Anyway. That's a joke. That's a joke, by the way. That is a total joke. Alright. So, basically, this bad boy goes right here, and this one goes right here. And you sew that in however you think is best. For what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this in kind of like a semicircle type of way, and then I'll do the same thing for this, but like a smaller semicircle right here. And I'll show you what it looks like after I'm done. Oh my goodness, you guys. You wouldn't believe what I found. I found a dumpster fire. Oh my goodness. Wow. He's so beautiful in me. Okay, there you go. That's how you make him. What one do you like better? Do you like this bad boy, or do you like this bad boy? What are you guys thinking? Because I love both of them. I think they're both cutie. I don't know why this guy looks bigger than this guy, but maybe it's the way that I stuffed him, or it's my tension. Or maybe we just need to shape him a little bit. I also think his face is more in the middle, and his face is lower down. But that's okay. It's okay that they look a little different. I actually really like that they look a little different. He looks a little bit more like this guy's little brother. And I love that. Alright, there you go. See what I was saying with that little detail that I did on this? It's more noticeable on this one than this one. Because this one I wanted it to be sturdy, because we're going to chuck this guy around. Alright, there you go. The little flames, you can see that I put them, this one is the semicircle, and this one is a smaller semicircle. And I like the effect that that has. But there you go. There's your dumpster fire tutorial. Let me know if you guys have any questions down in the comments below. We'll try to answer them as best we can. And I love you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And there you go. There's your dumpster fire. We have a bunch of other kits. This kit is for the dumpster fire, and it should have everything you would need. Let us know if there was anything that you didn't have that you would want, if you had enough of all of your materials, and what else you want to see as a kit that we have, or what we don't have as a pattern already that you would like to see as a kit. Check us out on our social medias. We have some really cool social medias on YouTube and on Instagram and on Facebook and Pinterest even. We have a lot of really, really fun options and fun skits that you can see on those and funny videos, etc. And I'm sure you'll really like it. And then what else? Check out our extra yarns, our extra patterns. We have so much fun stuff. We have so much free stuff. Just go ahead and check it out on our website. I'm sure you would love to see some of the things that we have. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And share with us if you did make this. Post it on your Instagram and tag us. And we would love to put you on our Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy crocheting.